Wrestling fans all have their own favorite wrestling moves, from the Stone Cold Stunner to the Sharpshooter. But what if I told you there was a secret moveset that the WWE doesn't want you to know about? What if I told you that there are maneuvers that wrestlers all know that make up the very fabric of a wrestling match's illusion? Well, if there were such hush-hush moves, you can bet that as long as kayfabe is still living, that Michael Cole probably won't be mentioning any of them.
Oh please, Michael Cole doesn't call regular moves.
Oh, and might I point out that you're exposing the business?
Yeah, just like that Valentino guy on Magic, secrets revealed.
Anyway, these unsung heroes of the wrestling move world never really get the credit that they deserve. That is, until now. Because today, Dave knows 7 secret moves that the WWE doesn't want you to know about. Now, what I'm about to mention here may be commonplace for anyone who's ever trained as a professional wrestler or any fan with advanced knowledge. So if you are that fortunate, congratulations. But keep in mind that there are plenty of fans out there who may never have heard of any of these. And if you are part of the uninitiated, well, you're in luck, because we're about to explore some uncharted territory here. And just know that these are only some of the maneuvers that wrestlers drill and practice as part of how they compose a match. There is definitely a lot more to wrestling training than just this list, which just serves as a quick simplified overview of a few moves in no particular order. So without further ado, let's just get started. The biel. One of the most important moves for a budding wrestler to get down packed is the biel. This is when you do a forward flip and land onto your back. Now, starting in a standing position and going into a biel does make for a decent looking bump, but don't just think of this as a mere pratfall flip over, because variations on the biel have a lot of applications. For example, a standing vertical suplex is a variation on a biel. When you see a suplex, the person taking it is actually doing most of the work, which is a fairly common strategy for pro wrestling. The person taking the bump tends to be in the most control, therefore handling their own impact. And this is how a lot of the illusion of wrestling gets done. Okay, now going back to the suplex. When taking a suplex, starting in position, you jump and flip forward and land onto your back. The person giving you the suplex is actually there just to give you support by holding on. And as you flip forward and end up on your back, that would be a biel. And biels exist all over. The sunset flip, biel. Hip toss, biel. Swanton, another biel. You get the point. And now that you know, see how many you can spot during any given match. Running the ropes. I previously talked about the importance of ropes and how they are something that a lot of casual fans don't ever think about. Not only do wrestlers take painstaking attention to just memorizing how many steps it takes to get from one side of the ring to another, but they sometimes have to start all over again when they go to a different company or a different sized ring. Aside from that, they also repeatedly drill the act of just hitting the ropes themselves. Why? Well, it has been said that even if you can spend 5 hours on a treadmill and be fine, you can spend only 5 minutes in the ring and be completely gassed out. Now, there are many reasons for this, but a major one has to do with the fact that when you hit the ropes, they hit back. There is a lot of resistance pushing back on you when it comes to throwing all of your body weight into a chest-high rope. This can take a lot of the wind right out of your lungs, which is why when wrestlers become not as durable, you might notice that they sometimes run into the ropes with less veracity than they used to in their youth. And even in their prime, you can sometimes observe wrestlers holding their breath right before they hit the ropes. That way, they can keep as much air in their system as possible. The faceplant. While belly flopping is something that in kayfabe wrestlers act like they're trying to avoid, in the real world, it's an almost inevitable part of a wrestler's career. So you definitely need to practice the act of kissing the mat. Knowing how to use your hands when it comes to going splat to lessen your fall is a useful skill. It's also important to know how the ring feels and how hard you can throw yourself into it. Taking a drop toe hold, a face buster, or missing a diving headbutt. Faceplants are practiced over and over again so that way you can get a feel and a timing down in order to make a perfectly safe forward fall look like you're taking it on the chin, something awful. The toe kick. Again, I've mentioned the sides of kicks before, but I have to give just a brief recap here. And last time I talked about kicks as a whole, but this time I am specifically talking about the front toe kick. The person delivering the kick thrusts their hips forward, while the person taking the kick will thrust their hips back. And for some extra emphasis, the person taking the kick will sometimes slap the kicker's boot on the way in, that way it adds a great sound. Basic rolls. Doing a simple shoulder roll is quite useful in amateur wrestling, but it's also just as useful in the pro level too. It serves as a solid evade and a quick way to move around the ring without needing to hit the ropes, while a full body roll through isn't always necessary. The act of rolling your shoulder has tons of applications. If you're holding an opponent's leg, it's how you do a dragon screw leg whip. It's also the motion one would do when giving a hip toss or an arm drag. Rolling your shoulder is a great way to shift your weight, whether it's to land on your feet or if it's supporting another wrestler while performing a move. Abby's fork. Fans of Abdullah the Butcher all know that the man is just plain scary when it comes to his use of utensils in the ring. But maybe he's not as scary as you might think. Because while many a forehead might have been ripped open at the tines of Abby's fork, the Butcher might not be the sadist that some people assume he is. Because like a lot of moves, the person taking it is the one that's in control. Abby simply just holds the fork to the person's forehead, allowing the person writhing in pain to just push into the fork as much and as hard as they want. That way they control the amount of punishment that is inflicted onto themselves, and Abby never has to worry about going too far. Just another example of the great illusion of wrestling. Because when you're in the hands of Abdullah the Butcher, you're in the hands of a forking professional. The back bump. What might be the most crucial secret move in all of wrestling, the back bump. While it might seem just like a reverse faceplant, the back bump is more than just that. Once again, the act of knowing how to fall is indispensable as a wrestler, and back bumps afford you tremendous opportunity to do what is known as break falling or flat backing. This is when you throw your arms out and hit the mat right at the moment of impact. This disperses the force as you hit, thus cushioning the blow. Furthermore, while there are those who hold their breath when hitting the ropes, there are a lot of wrestlers who exhale on impact while taking the bump, as the exhale also helps to lessen the hit. But that is just another example of something that leaves wrestlers totally gassed out while wrestling. And to be fair, not everyone is fair of this practice, believing that flat backing looks too rehearsed. But with that being said, it's still very important to know that many wrestlers never back down on the importance of throwing your back down. And to be clear, this is common for a lot more than just getting thrown on your back from a powerbomb or a body slam. But for example, just look at all of these back bumps that have happened right in front of you, but you probably didn't even notice it. Well, there you have it, just a few moves that aren't too likely to get called on TV. But what do you think? How many of these moves have you noticed on TV now that I pointed them out to you? Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to share this video as well as giving it a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, this has been Dave Knows.